but not the traditional form of the Living In list. This is a list that is definitely different than anything I've seen before. It is trying to break a card that I've attempted to play with decks that break in the past, but it's a card such as Carry Zev's Expertise to cheat out powerful effects. Previously, this card had been used on such effects as playing with um, your fuse spells, so breaking and entering to be able to mill your deck for 8 cards and throw an Emrakul or a Grizzlebrand into play. So it's kind of like a modern version of Reanimator. But this list is going to be a lot more the way it's going to go a lot more the way of a kind of control matchup. So this deck, it wants to play out a lot like Splinter Twin. So this is a user submitted list. We got this list from our Patreon. So if you want to see your decks posted through your Patreon, you can sponsor some Patreon at MTG Deck Techs. We have different tiers to allow us to be able to play different numbers of your lists. But if you have anything you want to post, you have a list you want to see us play, or you want to join in some of the Discord conversations, get feedback on decks and builds, or see your deck turned into a deck tech that we do every week, definitely please just kind of post and let us know. But this list comes this week, and it is going to be a spicy one. So it's going to play out. It looks a lot like the modern Splinter Twin lists of old. It's got a little bit less answers than the traditional Splinter Twin list ran because we have to run a few more cards to make them work. But also has a lot of cards that say one of my favorite keywords, which is cycling. And so cycling is one of my favorite effects because it basically just kind of lets you say, I'm going to play a smaller deck than my opponent in most cases. So we get to have Faithless Looting, Serum Visions, Cathartic Reunion, cycling off Striped Riverwinder, cycling off Hollow One, cycling off Street Wraith. So our deck is actually a very small deck. And that's kind of where I want to be at when I'm playing Magic. It's the less cards I have in my deck, the more consistent we're going to be. So we're blue-red. The way it's going to trigger is we're going to have As Foretold. Let's go and bring out the pop-outs just before we talk about the deck list. We got As Foretold, and As Foretold lets us, at the beginning of every upkeep, we put a counter on it. And once per turn, so not just on my turn, but on any turn, I can play a spell with convert mana cost X or less, where X is the number of counters on it. This won't let me play a sorcery at instant speed, but it will let me play things like Living In for free. Some lists have previously used Ancestral Visions and Balance, but it'll have a bunch of different effects that we're going to try to get off for free. We're really trying to reanimate big things such as Dragon Lord Kolaghan, flying haste 6/5. Other creatures you control have haste, and whenever an opponent casts a creature or planeswalker spell with the same name as a card in their graveyard, they lose 10 life. This is really in there to give our other creatures haste, so we can smash for a bunch. We get Terastodon to blow up bothersome permanents. We get Iona, Shield of Emeria to kind of lock out opponents. And then we just get, everybody's favorite keyword, hexproof. And just a lot of a value. So the deck's got a lot of value in it. The sideboard is kind of an interesting direction, and I like the idea behind it. Instead of trying to beat Control at Control's game, we just want a better Control matchup. So we can actually shift into the Hollow One deck and run Bloodghast and Burning Inquiries and Flameblade Adepts and cut out a lot of the cards that don't mean as much, such as Ionas and things like that, because we're not really trying to resolve the Living In. We're really just trying to value our opponents on out. So this list right here looks pretty sweet. So we're actually going to play a friendly Modern League with it. It's the kind of deck that I'm always looking to play. So definitely the kind of list I love to see people giving us Patreon sponsorships for, because this is the kind of deck I want to play all the time. Just a lot of value, a lot of thinner decks. So basically our deck has 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 of our 60 main deck cards say draw at least one, and that's where I want to be at, because that means my deck is essentially like a 30 card deck because they're just constantly replacing themselves. They all cost mana, so it takes over time, with the exception of Street Wraith, but we're just going to churn through our list as fast as possible, put as many things in the graveyard as we can, and just try to get massive board states. The Hollow One also synergizes really well with Faithless Lootings, Cathartic Reunion, Street Wraiths, and Striped Riverwinders to give us an early 4/4 clock that has already proven to be pretty good in Modern, with a little bit less random to it, because our Burning Inquiries and things like that are in the sideboard. Might have to repair up. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to need some music, so let's get that going. Nothing worse than missing the first one. All right. All right. Also, additionally, if you were looking for opinions and takes on the new Return to Ravnica set we have coming up soon, be watching because I will probably be doing a review of at least some of the cards, if not the whole set, because I'm personally very excited about it. I think the set looks like it's going to be a blast to play. It's going to have a lot of cool things that we're going to be able to do with it. Mostly the Surveil mechanic is something I'm really excited for. So traditionally in Living In, if you draw Living Ins, that's terrible because you want to cascade into them by playing them off your deck for free. But we really want them in our hand because we have As Foretold and Carry Zev's expertise to be able to cast them out of our hand. So we're actually looking for the Living Ins. That's what everyone's four of. So we're going to keep this hand. Our hand doesn't have a whole lot in the way of gas necessarily, but we have just a lot of ways to thin our deck out as quickly as possible. Three out of the four non-land cards in our hand replace themselves, and the other ones are win conditions. So this is really just perfect. It's also worth noting that this deck is actually pretty strong against Blood Moon effects because we have islands we can fetch off the Scalding Tarn, and Carry Zevs needs red, so we actually can't be locked out of playing our combo cards. Yeah. So there's our Carry Zev's expertise. We're going to go ahead and start off by cycling the Street Wraith. We want to see what we can get before we make any decisions on lands. Iona's pretty good. A lot of Graveyard's been so big that there could be some main deck cards. So I'm actually going to, because I can't combo out on turn 2 anyway, I'm going to pass turn and cycle this Striped Riverwinder. And this way on the next turn I can Faithless Looting. And we're not kind of showing what we're on yet. For all they know, we're on like a Grixis Death Shadow list currently. Awesome. Thought Scour. So it looks like they are on Grixis Death Shadow. So they probably think they're on a mirror match of some type. Which is nice. Inquisition of Kozilek. That's unfortunate. Probably their best take is to take this Faithless Looting. Though they might take the Living In because they can see the Carry Zev's expertise effect. Yeah. That's okay. That's why we're running so many Living Ins. Opponent's still not in range of playing a Shadow yet. When it comes time to resolve this Iona, we will be naming black. As basically everything they're going to be doing is going to be black. Alright, so now we can be getting a Shadow pretty soon. A cool effect we can have is if they play a Shadow and we're above 13, if we carry Zev's expertise a Shadow, it actually kills their Shadow. Because it'll check our life total once under our control. Alright, well, we didn't really want to land there, but that's fine. Teleria West is perfect, because that's going to let us go find another Living In through Transmute. So let's go ahead and Faithless Looting now. We could play a fetch land and try to thin some, but that's not super important. So we can get rid of Iona and a Polluted Delta. And then we're going to go and play this Scalding Tarn. They're not a Blood Moon list, so we can actually fetch for Steam Bits into play tapped to decrease the number of those we're going to draw. We actually want to keep our life total high so we can take these Death Shadows when they eventually come. Thoughtseize or Inquisition here would be unfortunate. Kermag Angler's okay. There's the Shadow we can take. Alright, so the question is, yeah, now that we've drawn this As Foretold, yeah, this is perfect. So we're actually going to carry Zev's expertise, this Death Shadow, and kill it. And then we're going to get to play Cathartic Reunion. cast this. I have to discard 2 cards. So we unfortunately have to discard this Teleria West because we want to keep the As Foretold. And then we get to cast this hollow one. Oh no, we're short 1. That stinks. Yeah, that's fine. So we can actually combo out next turn if they don't have a discard spell and they only have 1 card in hand. So the probability that we're resolving Iona next turn is really good. Okay. Opponent thought we had a bugged card. I'm not sure if he was thinking the Cathartic Reunion or what. That's because the discard's an additional cost, so I think they thought I wasn't going to have to discard. Alright, so we're looking pretty good here. We're going to go and just slam this As Foretold. Alright, and then we're going to cast this Living End. They get back Street Wraith and Death's Shadow. If this resolves... We could have waited, but I don't really know. I guess they could have Stubborn Denial. Didn't think about Stubborn Denial. Snapcaster Mage. Dismember his own Gurmag Angler. Okay. I mean, I'm going to get a pretty good board state here. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be enough. We're going to choose black. Yeah. It's going to be real close because they do have 2 8/8s. I didn't realize it. I forgot they had second Street Wraith. There's a Death Shadow in the graveyard. So we could have a tough spot here. When they swing, we can go block Gurmag Angler, block Death Shadow, take 3. Yeah, alright, cool. So this matchup is not the kind of matchup where I'm wanting these cards, I don't think. Blood Gasket's Brickwalled, Lightning Bolt doesn't really hit much, Flame Blade Adept doesn't really do anything, so this is the kind of matchup where we're staying as is. I think the bait would be to bring in Burning Inquiry to try to maybe we get them with lands or something, but I don't think that's really necessary. That was sweet, though. That was fun. I do kind of wish that the list had Elish Norn somewhere in here, so that way, like, small affinity and infect lists we can have game against, and humans. Maybe instead of the sideboard being this transformational package, maybe we should adjust our main deck. Or it could be that we don't run those bolts and we run some other alternative dudes, but I think this is okay. This hand is okay. We have Terastodon to blow up some things. We got a hollow one. We have Foretold, or is it Charm to dig? We have Serum Visions to dig. I think this one's a keep. It's not phenomenal because we're looking for lands. We're looking for a Living End. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't really know how we beat that. Maybe we should try to resolve this hollow one? Ooh. Not exactly sure how we beat Leyline of the Void. Go look at this. Take a look at this deck list. We might just lose any game where they resolve Leyline. Yeah, because like Blood Gas doesn't really help much. We can bring in the Flame Blades and try to and Burning and Lightning Bolts, try to like aggro them out. That seems bad. I'm gonna wait for Foretold to hit 6 counters. I guess it's kind of where we're at. All right. Faithless Looting's pretty good. We'll be able to play Faithless Looting and play Hollow One. So we'll go put on top. Put on top. Yeah, this could be... We might just lose this game straight out. Next turn we get a hollow one. We're going to discard Terastodon, and we're going to discard Polluted Delta. Tasker here would be unfortunate. Alright, so we definitely want to be able to play that hollow one off the top, so we want to play this first. So we're going to get rid of Terastodon, and we're going to discard Polluted Delta. And then we're going to fetch with the Scalding Tarn. Get this mountain. If I play this other Faithless Looting, it's probably okay, because I can get rid of Is It Charm and Coal again if I need to. Get rid of Cathartic Reunion, and I think Is It Charm, and then cast this guy. So next turn we're going to slam this as Foretold, and we're going to hope it lasts long enough to get this Dragon Lord Colgan in play. Cast a spell, so it's not a non-creature spell. But we're about to look at a fish. That's not going to be good for our clock. Yep. Keeping the Snapcaster Mage target in there. That card doesn't really do anything. I mean, I guess if worst comes to worst, Living In is still a board wipe because they don't have any creatures in their graveyard. So we can actually just start chopping in with a hollow one. Yeah, they're in too much of a clock for that to be a thing they can allow happen. So we just need to buy time. I don't really need a fourth mana, so I'm going to hold on to the Scalding Tarn, because if I draw another Faithless Looting, I want to have something I can discard. So if I draw action off of Faithless Looting, I have non-action cards to get rid of. Well, that's unfortunate. If they take Living In, we don't get our board wipe. If they take Colgan's Command, our clock is drastically impacted. Yeah. I guess we still play Scalding Tarn, because we can still cast the Striped Riverwinder. Our Hexproof dude. It's probably our best play. So our opponent's sitting on a bunch of do-nothings. Could be removal spells. That's probably some kind of like counter magic. So we need to keep that in mind. We might have to like bait with Living In. I mean, we're kind of at a point where we can just resolve this Iona after 4 turns. That's our plan is not a good plan. I never said I felt good about it. What's the plan we have? So they're about to play another threat, most likely. Yeah, fish number 2. Probably take advantage of this turn to play this Living In. Yeah, we're actually getting pretty close to being able to just play this Iona. So that's cool. Bobble doesn't matter. We're going fetch. Man, if we win this game against double Leyline, that's going to be pretty sweet. No, we don't want to pay 2 life. So they get to draw a card. Faithless Looting. I think we cast this regularly, and we'll just discard whatever the worst cards are. If it's lands, we don't really need them. We're going to discard Steam Vents, and I think Living In, because we have this Remand, and we have 2 7-drops we're going to start playing fairly soon, so we just need to Remand 1 turn. And also now they have 2 Gurmag Anglers, so any future... Oh, that's not good. Yep. It's not good. If they try to battle rage, some of them will run a singleton teamer battle rage to try to get the one shot, and so we need to keep an eye out for that. So we're going to 7. We're going to cast with As Foretold, draw 2, and then discard 2. Okay, discard land, Miriam, and then we're going to remand this Inquisition. Oh, they get to take Carry Zev's expertise. I was about to say, man, if I could hit a fetch land, this Carry Zev's expertise is a one shot. It's really unfortunate. Alright, so we're going to cast this Serum Visions. Bottom. Bottom. Cast with As Foretold. We're going to try to time walk off these Striped Riverwinders, I guess. Still need 2 turns. I forgot it. I miscounted Iona. This is awkward, to say the least. Yeah, we're going to chump blocks. Actually, we'll just take that. Go to 1. Oh, come on. We wanted to. So the reason we didn't block is because we want to play a Striped Riverwinder next turn and set up the. Let's see, so we'd had a Street Wraith. Yeah, we were trying to set up the double block because we weren't really winning a game where they ever hit a fetch land because then our Iona trades, and we needed to be able to resolve that. I mean, we can bring in Flameblade Adept. I just don't think that's the play. Our opponent's going to mulligan down to Leyline, but I don't think we can really go to the other plan's just not a good plan. Their blockers are too efficient. We can bring in Flameblade. That's like the only card we could bring in, and I don't think that's gonna be enough to get the job done. Yeah, they're mulliganing for it. Yeah, of course. I still don't think. Oh man, that was gonna be great. I still don't think that even against this kind of deck, mulliganing very far down is the right play for a ley line. Like 1 mulligan's fine, like they just did, but I don't think I would go really above that. All right, discard Dragonlord Kolaghan. They might take one of these As Foretold, so we're gonna need one. So we're actually gonna get rid of this Is It Charm because it's just gonna be used to draw cards, and Street Wraith does the same thing. Yeah. If they have double discard spell, we're probably not going to win the game. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to play this Teleria West. There's no reason to cycle the Street Wraith right now. Yeah. So now we need to draw one of our other 2 As Foretold, because that's like the only way we're winning that game. So we're going to cycle this guy. Play this tapped. It's very unfortunate. I mean, it's not like shocking. The deck runs a lot of those effects. Oh, okay, well, I guess there goes Colgan. So they mulliganed into Leyline of the Void mono discard spells. And the Gurmag Angler. Yeah. They have one card in hand, though. What's unfortunate, though, is like they're going to be able to hit us for 3 here. And so we're going to go to 12. And so we're actually not going to be able to carry Zev's expertise this Death Shadow. But, like, the numbers are going to line up just perfect for that not to be a case. And Fish? Or another Shadow? Oh, well, it actually gets a 0 drop, so most of it gets Living End anyway. Oh, this is Sorcery Speed? I haven't played Transmute in a long time. Alright, well, we just gotta see if we can find something. Alright, so we just play this hollow one. Go into chump block mode. Oh, do they have the Dismember? Yeah. Leyline of the Voids are good. Alright, so we lose round 1.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It helps out a lot. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all of our uploads. You can follow us on these platforms here at MTG Tech. And finally, a big shout out to Terry Ledford for his generous Patreon donation. If you would like to become a patron for MTG Tech, please click the link down below. It is not necessary, but it helps us out quite a bit. Thank you for watching the video, and we will see you all again soon.